Hey guys, it's For Real, and today we'll be looking at the Concept 1B. Now this is the Tier 9 reward American heavy tank, which in my opinion is the best in the game. And that is pretty controversial because I'm of the opinion that no reward tank should be better than its Tech Tree counterparts, like for example the Conqueror or the M103 in it. And however, it is how it is. You could have gotten this tank through the ranked seasons. And I got it like that. Of course, you could pay 20,000 bonds, and in the bond shop, and I'd say it's honestly worth it. Just like the KPZ, even though you pay 20,000 bonds, I think they're great collections to your garage, especially because Tier 9 is probably the most enjoyable matchmaking opportunity that you'll have in the game right now. Talking about the match itself, it's a mountain pass. And I decided to go over a bridge, and you'll be wondering if I'm using turbo. That is actually not the case. I use on this tank exclusively HP, stabs, and rammer. I didn't feel it had a need for the turbo, especially since you just witnessed for yourself the speed with which it crossed. And talking about the matchup, it's a really nice matchup. It's Tier 9s and Tier 8s. One of the best when it comes for the Tier 9, honestly. And I'm facing off with several tanks here, which is pretty worrisome. However, as you may have noticed, the Concept in this position is extremely strong hold down. And this enables it to, tank shots, which not many vehicles on its tier could. The M103 would be bent in a cupola, and a Conqueror could not even be able to cross the bridge due to its speed in the first place. So that already shows you what advantages the Concept has over its counterparts. Now, unfortunately, the Cobra does manage with its heat shells to penetrate two shells, which already leaves me at 1.2k, which is rather worrisome. And talking about my team, it's already melting, and we're already like 7k down almost. So things are not looking pretty. And in the meantime, I'm actually managing to farm 3k already into the Tiger and the T32. And the Cobra was also halved by my shells. And now you'll be wondering why I don't try to side scrape a lot in this tank, at least in this particular situation. And that's because I'm trying to bait them with a lower plate. Now, by any means, this lower plate is not as good as, for example, a Renegades or an M103s, But however, if angled properly, it can still, bounce you occasional shots. And it's not for them to shoot at me, it's for them to overexpose so I can shoot them. I'm not trying them to hit the lower plate, if you don't know what I mean. So anyways, I'm methodically taking the enemies down one by one. And as you can notice, the Tiger 2 is in a really bad situation, and I'm just farming it. However, the Scorpion, who was behind all that foliage, does manage to connect a big shot for 550 into me, which does leave me at 700 HP only. And that is actually a really bad hit for me because I can't play as aggressively as I want to. Now, however, the Scorpion does get spotted by the Bisonte, which is fantastic. And I'm going to focus the Scorpion down because in this situation, he's a much bigger threat than the Tiger 2, who's not going to be able to pen me if I use my armor accordingly. Now, don't get me wrong, the Concept has really good hold down capabilities, but it's still able to get penetrated. So it's not like exactly perfect timing for the Scorpion to hit me and leave him in a one-shot. So anyways, the distraction which the Bisonte provided did allow me to get into this hold down position and allow me to continue the farm on the Tiger 2 and the Lowe, which does put me at 6.3k damage if I do connect the Lowe right now, which is indeed the case. So anyways, it's 6 all. The HP difference is a 3k from what I can see, which is a great progress. And we're actually up by 1 tank, which is fantastic news. So it's 7-6, we cleared out our area. And now I'm wondering what should be the next course of action. And I'm looking at the VK, and I notice that he's probably going to die, and we're going to lose the ice road. So what I want to do is cover the Bisonte until he gets into the corner, And then I'm actually gonna hopefully farm the WZ and the Borask if they try to commit on the ice road. This position is really good defense-wise, but if you're isolated, if you don't have TDs in the, for example, in the B3 area, you can get overwhelmed by the enemy. However, in this case, I did have allies to support, as well as the actual combat capabilities to make the enemies fall back and not overwhelm me. So anyways, I feel confident enough in my concept to risk taking a shot to while hold down, and that pays off because I actually managed to put 3 shots for none, which does put me at 7.5k damage, and leave a WZ a one shot, which does allow my T44 to finish him off. Now, that is actually a really good result because the WZ-114, despite being a horrible tank, is still a threat to tier 8s. That's without a doubt. And I'm looking at all the penetrations where I got, and this I'm telling you, the concept is not that well armored. It's not like a chieftain hold down. It does have a really lean, so to speak, turret, but it is definitely capable of being penned, as shown multiple times. Now, I'm thinking about what's my next course of action. I realize that I should probably fall back because if a Borask kills me, there is a chance that he's gonna kill me. And I opt for an option to fall all the way back across the bridge, and I feel comfortable doing so right now because I know that Borask cannot spot me from the H4, H5 area, and the T55A is out of position. So I speed my way through the bridge, and I'm gonna opt into playing a much more static sniping role to aid my teammates who have more HP, for example, the Chimera and the T44. But Borghetto, on the other hand, decides to stay on a bridge. I would say that's an incorrect play from his part. However, that is going to give us info regarding the opponents. Now, anyways, I'm fully aimed, and the shell goes to Antarctica, which is one of the main drawbacks of this vehicle. Its gun is definitely not the best. Definitely not like the KPZ. Surely not like the Conqueror. And I'd still argue that the M103 gun is better. And that's probably the only thing the M103 has on that concept, which is ridiculous. So anyways, it's pretty static for now. Not much to talk about. This is one of my first games I actually had in the concept. And I've got to say, I would argue it's probably one of my favorite tier 9s after the Cobra. And the Cobra, I like the Cobra at tier 9 the most, just because it's such a meme tank. You know, giving 2k damage into enemies may be really toxic, just like an FV, but it is really entertaining when you're the one dealing it and not the one receiving it. I can tell you for a fact that when I was getting clipped by Cobra, I was definitely not being really polite towards the player verbally. However, I'm gonna say that the Cobra is definitely an unnecessary addition to the game. And the concept is also pushing its limits. And I'd actually say it was not okay for Wargaming to make such a good vehicle in tier 9s as a tier 9 reward tank. And I'm still of the opinion that Tech 3 tanks should be of higher value, or at least make these reward tanks not visibly better than their Tech 3 counterparts. Now, as I was saying all of this, the Cobra does manage to get eliminated by the Progetto, which was on the bridge, which actually turns out to be the correct play. And seeing the rotations of the enemies does incentivize me to push these two E75s. And I know for a fact there's probably not there anymore because I haven't been spotted for a marginal amount of time. So the chances of them still being there is not minimal. However, I'm going to be cautious and going to side scrape in order not to be taken by surprise, so to speak. And I'm doing this slowly. However, my Renegade has no fear, and he's pushing all in. So I'm going to use the Renegade's bravery to my advantage to continue moving forward. And I see the E75 who's taking the bridge and consequently taking our Borghetto, which was the main threat. Unfortunately, I did not take into consideration that E75 would actually take the bridge. So unfortunately, the Progreto dies for free. However, there is an E75 on a one-shot, and the Renegade does manage to find him for free. I'm looking for his side so I don't overexpose myself, and I managed to find it, which does put me at 8k damage, which is fantastic news. Now it's 3v3, and we're basically all one-shots, and the Chimera is playing against the Bourrasque, and he does manage to pull through. He does manage to kill out the Bourrasque, which does put us in a 3v2 and make us look good in the chances of victory. However, it's worth to note that E75, based on what I've known from my view range, is at full HP almost. So we're actually at a 1.4k deficit despite being at the tank advantage. And the next course of action is ideally take out the Bourrasque and then isolate the E75. However, chances of that happening are minimal. And you may be wondering, why am I pushing into the open? Well, I'm not actually pushing into the open. I want to get to this rock so I counter the E75 who's maybe going to approach. However, that does not prove to be the case. He's actually on the bridge and he is at full HP, which is both great and bad. Great because I can farm more damage, but bad because it's going to take a while to kill him. So I don't know where the Bourrasque is at this point. I just know that we need to exploit the E75 being out of position as much as possible. So anyways, I'm aiming at his upper part, and it actually managed to connect, which is fantastic. You don't really connect those often in the concept, let me tell you. In the concept, you want to aim at the, in the center of a tank to maximize the chances of it hitting in the first place, not just, sniping. So anyways, we managed to connect 2 consecutive shots, which is fantastic, and basically have the E75. And I'm actually gonna commit, because I'm of the opinion that if we have the chances of killing the E75 without the Bourrasque intervening, that should be the play. So I'm shooting, I ricochet, which is actually really unusual. I should not be ricocheting the E75. And I'm actually caught in a bit of a pickle, because I did not expect the E75 to get a hold down position there. I expected him to actually try and run away. And he's actually in a crossfire from a Renegade right now. And this is great. And I think I'm just going to have to wait for the Renegade, to come in closer and kill him off, right? And this is a bit of a standoff. I hope the Renegade acts faster. I shoot my shot in E75, which is amazing. However, the Bourrasque does come from behind and finish me off. And he does kill off the Chimera as well. And yeah, that was... he just outpositioned us, the Bourrasque, and he actually, with one single clip, turned the tables around. The E75, I told you I did not expect him to go, that's why I crossed the bridge and caught me off guard. Otherwise, if I knew he was going to go there, I would have definitely not committed. And yeah, the E75's actually, what I thought was a really stupid play turns out to be also a game-winning move. So congrats to him as well. So anyways, that leaves our Renegade in a 1v2 situation. And hopefully he's going to pull this off. He's going to go back and reset. And he actually does manage to kill the E75 off, which is amazing. So it's a 1v1. And I'm hoping that my 9.3k damage in this tank is gonna be enough and not be a heartbreak. And I tell the Renegade to load HP because the Bourrasque is at 400 HP. So he does so, and unfortunately he overexposes his lower half and causes Bourrasque to kill him.